Turn from your ways. Follow God, for every human is a child of God. You are being tempted / tested. I don't know how that translates. If you give in, but not if you fail. Is that right? I'm going to speak out of my mouth. Is what I've been. It's the old term. Yeah. The other thing is that your / this is not what you / this is you think. I have returned and I shall return. Weird. Seal up the words of this prophecy. Honor the words of my servant for as long as he honors me.
So, just like a little EP, because this one was meaningful to me.
I've been told many things since 4 years ago. Like how to operate the way out that I thought there was before. Oh, I forgot a partial important message to, I guess, a video that I will unlist it, so it'll be listed right before this. They tried to kill me upwards of 37 times, and that's proven by the fact I've almost died that many. The dates of when I uploaded something last year, unholy, literally. I'll link it right here, actually, for real this time. It was originally December 25th last year. Didn't want me to upload the shapes video. May have launched a gamma ray burst towards Earth. That may just be happening, though. Anyway, humans have a unique specific ability to Christ themselves. What do I mean by that? The more you suffer and remain unresentful, and also follow a lot of other rules that there are in the world, kinda, like 87 of them. There may be 2 more that need to go in there, I'm not sure. 2 to 3 more that need to go in there. That could be made 1. I don't know what that would be, to be honest right now. Said maybe NSTMT, but that was given to me. I kind of came up with it. You have to do the work. Anyway, my point is this. The more you do things, even though you suffer, so the more you suffer, the more you do good things in good spirit for other people that help and are productive and are good and are the will of God and are productive, the longer you'll live, the better you'll live, and the more power you release when you die. If there's a demon inside or around you, when you do this, smoke cannabis, consume psilocybin, or consume dextroamphetamine, you will have psychosis. People of the world will call it psychosis. If you have God in your heart, you don't get that. That's another way. So for cultures, Native American shamanism or African shamanism, that is not imbued yet or was not imbued before. If you have good in your spirit, then good is synonymous with God, and then you don't have schizophrenia, because they used to define schizophrenia as a positive thing in old cultures. It's a bad thing here. Cities give you schizophrenia. If there's good in you, the world will reject it. If there's enough, it'll kill you. It can be said that dextroamphetamine gives you psychosis, but it's the least likely of the 3 top psychosis drugs, psychosis causing. Of them, it's 22% rate. It's on Wikipedia somewhere, or it was at one point. I remembered what they were. Psychedelics, 28%. Cannabis, 33%. Now think about the impact that each of these things could have on your mind. Not really necessarily too great or ideal. Cannabis these days could be 33% psychosis rates, genuinely, if you're evil inside. Kidding. It only happened to me when I was evil, though. Otherwise, I was just enlightened. Think which of those is most dangerous, though, like dextroamphetamine, like Adderall? Well, it turns out Adderall is associated with VMAT and TAR1, which, I'm gonna just follow up, or I might make this a whole video, I'm not sure yet. Dextroamphetamine is associated with VMAT2 and TAR1. Schizophrenia is actually being researched for improvements in the medication because the ones before were evil and caused a lot of harm and were very cruel and crushing treatments for people who genuinely do suffer. The drugs being developed for schizophrenia are TARR1 agonists, and it's been experienced by me when I was borderline psychotic, and I've heard from other people who use the Walteroid to manage their negative symptoms and improve their frontal lobe's dopamine function and suppress their reward system's dopamine functioning. I have a theory that there's 5 disorders that are popular in common culture that are all the same disorder. I need to think about that more, though. Psilocybin treats fear of death and is one of the most important events in people's lives. They report it as important as the birth of their child or their marriage, their first trip, where they meet God, of course it is. And cannabis was the anointing oil, so you tell me whether you think society has it right or not. There's absolutely no reason to assume that science is so great and aliens are so great that they cannot be included into the overall larger arcing construct of capacity that the global operator descriptor, the omega point, the transcendental object at the end of time, omnis almeris, has. That's what I would call it if NSTMT was complete. There's a lot of reckonings of these things. You know what else causes schizophrenia? Cortisol. You know what cortisol does? It makes things feel overwhelmingly meaningful. Jordan Peterson taught me that. Anyway, what does society these days want? To strip your frontal lobe of its power. I guarantee you it does. What did stoned ape theory and meat cooking and social brain theory and hunting and aliens do? Well, they gave us shrooms 2 million years ago. Terence McKenna's stoned ape theory.
What I'm about to show you, you can't unsee. It is the equivalent of taking the red pill, deconstructing the universe, taking you back to your childhood. Imagine, if you will, the simplest shapes, the triangle, the circle, and the square. These shapes, when dimensionalized, become very interesting. These shapes in themselves represent 3 different things. The triangle represents the ethereal plane, the square represents the physical plane, and the circle represents the eternal plane. When you see the actual circle, it's the wheel, it's the never-ending, it's the eternal, it's the expansiveness of all things. When you look at the triangle and the square as they come together, you actually see what we call, we look into Egypt, the actual Great Pyramids. We talk about the 3 points of the triangle that actually are the ethereal plane, and they stand for mentalism, correspondence, and energy. They are the isness of singularity. They are the single point of all things, where all things start. The physical plane is in constant rotation with the ethereal plane, through rhythm, polarity, karma, and gender. In order for the physical plane to receive, the physical plane has to be in balance. This is what we call free will choice.